After William and Melior, disguised in bearskins, escape from Rome, Melior's father, the Emperor of Rome, offers a great reward for their capture and return. When workmen subsequently discover the young couple hiding in a quarry, they send for the Provost of Benevento, who arrives with his men to capture them. However, just at that moment, the werewolf appears and snatches the provost's son, forcing the provost and his men to chase after them and allowing Melior and William the chance to escape. Here, the poet tells us a little bit more about the werewolf and his intentions. He is not the fierce creature that we might think him to be. For I will tell for a while of that wise werewolf. For hours those frightening folk followed after him, to win back from him that boy whom he had taken that time, hunting wholly that day both on horse and on foot, until that seemly sun settled down to rest. And when it was nigh on night time, to let you know the truth, the werewolf knew well that there was no more need to bear that boy any further for the sake of those bears. They had followed him so far that he knew for certain that no soul in pursuit should not return to his home, no matter how hard he hurried, until long into the night. Now briskly that beast then put down that boy, who was made none the worse by woe nor by wound, for no bruise on that boy might none find on his body. As made by that beast, he was bold and fair. And as soon as he had set that boy down, he at once went away without further ado, directly, as if that day he had sped but half a mile. When the provost and people perceived this was so, that the beast had left the boy, they were all blissful then. The provost sped to that place before all the people, and hoisted that boy hastily high and nobly in his arms, and clasped him and kissed him copious times often, and looked about his body for sign of any blemish. When he saw it was all sound, he was then so glad that no grief under God would gainsay his joy. Promptly all those people who had run in pursuit greatly thanked God for the grace which befell them, and swiftly all troubled here were now turned to joy. So briskly with bliss they all bustled homewards, with all the mortal mirth that men might devise. So each man that night lodged in inns or elsewhere, and when the day dawned they turned for home directly. And at once when they came home, I will tell you truly, the provost then promptly warned all the people to bustle brisk to that quarry, to capture those bears. They went with a good will. But when they came there, they found all were gone away who had been there before. None in this world knew where now to seek them, but hastened now homeward, hurrying as they might, and took their rest readily at their own leisure. Then openly the provost proffered about to any mortal man who might capture those bears a great gainful reward of gold for a lifetime. Many men with their might made to busy themselves upon every such side so to seek those bears. But by the grace of God no man might gain them. So happily were they hidden through such fortune they had had. And to tell what occurred to that opportune werewolf, that night, when the provost had quickly departed, he went away then to William and to his worthy maid, well charged with wine and with excellent food, which he won by those ways which he had done before. And briskly all that he bore he laid before William. Then he went away from them quickly at once. At this William was amazed, and Melior also, why that beast would not abide who had helped them so well. And each said to the other, No, certainly, for sure truth, this beast is a kind man. It may be none other. See what sorrow he suffers to save us too. And namely, when we had need, he has never failed to bring whereso we be, such as behoves us. He who suffered for our sake, 5 sore wounds, has saved our humble beast to shield us with his life. Amen, sire, said Melior. By Mother Mary, were it not for his high help, we would all long have been dead. Then they made themselves merry with the meat that they had, to eat it at their ease, for they were long hungry. And they rested there readily all that long day, and all the next night after, to know of the truth, for Melior was so weary that she might not walk. And so, early on the morrow, when the sun went to shine, colliers carrying charcoal came to walk beside there, and other ones that were wont so to fetch wood, fast by where William was and his worthy maid. The colliers began to speak keenly together. One of them said swiftly these self-same words, Would God those white bears were right here now, for all mortal men should not save their lives. For at once would I win to warn the provost, and they would be taken promptly, and suffer much trouble, for brutal bears they are not, as they be but men. It is the daughter of the emperor, who went so disguised, with a knight who has captured her afflicted heart. Therefore have these cries been so keenly heard, whichever mortal man may first find them, he may get so much gold to never go poor. Wondrously, a werewolf saved them yesterday, that plainly bore away the boy of that provost. While the host hunted them, the others headed away. By he who absolved us, they were both here. They should well practice witchcraft if they want to escape, though there were 4 such werewolves who also went with them. Then Melior was near mad, almost with fear, lest all these foul folk should have found them here, and dwelled still in her den for dread without noise. At once another workman, who was also nearby, began to fight with that fellow who spoke formerly, and said, Do the deed you are paid to, work that has to be done. How would it be better if those bears were here, to do them any distress? They have done you no harm. They have suffered much hardship since they have escaped, so I hope they shall let fly despite your sorry will. May God in his great might save them from grief, and bring them both bliss wheresoever they be. Let us do our paid deeds, as we are ordained, and earn ourselves honest silver from our loads in the city. Brisk, they loaded their burdens, and began to wend. William nor his sweet one see them no more, though they had wholly heard all their huge speech. Then William at once said these same words, Melior, my sweetheart, we must now no more walk with these bold bearskins around about here, if we want to know how to make things work better. Certainly, sire, that is so, said Melior then. If we walk in these weeds, I would know truly that the complete country would know of our case. What man might so meet us may soon know us too. I know not in what way to make this work best. Nor indeed do I, said William. Let it be as God wills. This is a great passage of the poem because the poet introduces us to a whole strata of medieval society. We have the emperor, of course, who has sent everyone chasing around the countryside for his daughter and for William. We have William, the exiled prince. We have Melior, the emperor's daughter. We have the werewolf, who has been turned into a werewolf by his wicked stepmother and is in fact a Spanish prince. Then we have the quarrymen, who are digging in the quarry, and then they alert the provost to come to the quarry to capture the beast. And then we have this delightful scene with the colliers, the charcoal burners in the forest. So a whole spread of medieval society is put before us by the poet here. And the poet himself is present. He tells us throughout, I will tell you truly, this happened next. So we're all engaged in almost a performance poem. I hope you've enjoyed this excerpt from William and the Werewolf. The book is still crowdfunding with Unbound, and if you'd like to support it, please do, and your name will be published in the back as a patron. And there are plenty of pledge rewards too, including original illustrations from the book and and other items. Thank you very much for listening to this brief excerpt, and please do watch out for more in the future. Thank you.